Begin today the Gemara on Daf Yud Ches Amud Aleph, 5 lines from the top of the Yomid. Boy Rava. Okay, so the Gemara continues regarding the halachas of writing the Megillah. We had different halachas in the Mishnah regarding what it could be written on, with what type of ink it could be written with. So here there's additional halachas about this. Boy Rava asked the Shaila. Kosav Beis Megillas L'shtei Saitis. He wrote 2 different scrolls for 2 different saitis, but then he erased it into 1 kais. So mahu, what's the halacha? Could he use that 1 kais of the water to use now for the 2 megillas for these 2 saitis? Ksive l'shma be'inan, where it's written, it has to be written for the sake of this woman, for this saita that it's made for her. As Rashi brings, it says in the pasuk va'asallah. So va'asallah means for her sake. It has to be l'shma, so that has to be written for her sake. So v'ha'ikeh, that you have here. You have 2 different megillas that were written for each one of them. When the Torah says v'asalah, the v'asa includes not just the writing of the megillas, but also the fact that it's getting erased in the water. It has to be separate cups of water that it's erased for each one, specifically l'shma. So over here, it's not a separate cup, so it's not good.
Both there, or just one is there?
No, both are here. You have 2 saitis that are here, and you want to use it for both of them. I mean, the emphasis is that there's a detail of this story that the Gemara, this question that the Gemara discussed earlier in the Masechta, I think it was in Daf Ches, regarding the problem of ein eisa mitzvahs chavilas. You can't bundle together mitzvahs. The Gemara there said that if there's 1 kayin, you can't do it. There has to be 2 kayinim. Okay, let's continue. So the Gemara now says, so this shaila, the Gemara doesn't resolve. But the Gemara says, if you'll resolve this shaila and say that be'ina nami mechike l'shma, it is necessary to have it erased in 2 cups of water separately for each one for their sake, l'shma. So now machkam bebeis kaises, he wrote it separately for each one of them. He had 2 cups of water and it was erased for each one of them separately. But then v'chazav irvan, after this he goes and mixes it into 1 cup. And now he wants to give them to drink from this water after it's mixed together in 1 cup. So mahu, what's going to be the halacha now? Mechike l'shma binan. Is it enough the fact that here it was not only written, but it was even erased for their sake, and therefore that's enough? So it's good. Or no, this is still not going to be good. Because ha'lav didoka shasya and v'ha'lav didoka shasya, each one of them is not drinking her own Megillah, the waters and the Megillah that was written for her, because it's mixed together. And maybe even the drinking itself has to be dafke, what was l'shma, what was made specifically for her. Now, if you're going to resolve this ibaya, that since each one is not drinking the cup that was erased specifically for her, so therefore it's not good. What's if after he put it into 1 cup, he went and divided it again? And he's giving each one of them to drink in a separate cup. Mahu, what's going to be the halacha now? Do I say yesh breda, that I apply the concept of breda, that means that it clarifies for us retroactively that this cup that's here now is the cup intended for her, even though it was mixed before, but now that I separated it again, so once I do this action of separating it, I now see that this is the one that's intended for her. So retroactively we say that from the beginning, whatever water is in this cup was intended for her. And therefore, it's good. Or even though now it's 2 separate cups for each one of these women, but because it was already mixed before, you cannot now divide it for each one separately, and therefore they cannot drink anymore from this. This has been mixed. And the Gemara does not resolve this last shaila, teiku. This remains unresolved. I mentioned, I think once before, that in the Rambam, the rule always is that whenever the Gemara says imtim tzelaima, so we accept that side of the ibaya and we paskin like that. So over here as well, the Gemara says a few times imtim tzelaima, we accept that. But the last shaila, the Gemara does not resolve. There's a long thesis over here regarding this expression of the Gemara, yesh breda and ein breda. This concept of breda comes up in Shas many times. We've learned it before. And usually, when the Gemara brings up the subject of breda, it brings from other places where you find this shaila, whether you say that you retroactively clarify where it belongs to situations where you have by Trumas and Maisris, where there's a mixture, different places. Here, Taisus points out, the Gemara brings up the subject of breda, and it leaves it unresolved, and it doesn't connect it to the other places in Shas regarding this discussion of Breira. Why not? Taisus has a whole beer, and there's a big discussion in Achrein of what Taisus means, because it's not so clear that this concept of Breira, the way it's brought in our Sugya, is different than the rest of Shas, and that's why over here the Gemara does not connect it to any other places. Amar Rab Zayda said, Amar Rav, in the name of Rav. Skipped something? Oh, sorry, skipped the Bayi from Rav before. Okay. Bayi Rav asked the Shaila, Hishka b'siv mahu. What's if he gave her to drink this water as of the Sotah in a sieve, which is from a palm tree? I think it's called palm bass. That it's sort of like a straw, but it's not. Straw means that it's taka made from straw, but this is from a palm tree. What's the halacha? Or it's taka similar b'shveiferes, from a straw, and that's how she drinks it, not directly from the cup. Mahu. What's the halacha? Is this the proper drinking of the waters of the Sotah or not? What's the basis of the shaila? Derech shtiye bekach. Is it the common way to drink, and therefore this is proper drinking? Torah says you have to give it to drink, and she's drinking it in the normal way. Or no, this is not the usual way of drinking. Maybe little children drink like this, they drink with a straw. But today maybe it's more common for people to drink with a straw. But this is not the way you drink directly from the cup. So the Torah says you have to give it to drink in the normal fashion, not with this kind of a straw. Teiko. This Yibai also remains unresolved. Boy, Ravashi asked the Shaila, Nishbechu mehen, if some of the water spilled. So we had before in the Mishnah, you have to have either a revius of a water or a half a lug of water. So if the water spilled, and there's leftovers from this water in the cup, and she's only drinking some of it. Mahu. What's the halacha? If she drinks just a little bit of it, is that good enough? Teiko. It also remains unresolved. Omar Rab Zayda. Now Rab Zayda said, Omar Rav in the name of Rav. Beis shvuos ha'amuros b'Sotah lama. In the Torah, when it speaks about this, that the Kayin has the woman take an oath about accepting upon herself this curse that will happen to her, and it says in the Torah twice that the Kayin has to swear about this. And the Gemara, you had the Psukim quoted before. In this Gemara, you have the Psukim over here on the side of the Gemara before on Daf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. So if you look over there in Pasuk Yutes, it says the Lashon in the Torah v'hishbiya Kayin. And it says it again in Pasuk Chaf Aleph, I think it is, again, v'hishbiya Kayin, twice, v'hishbiya. So why is it saying in the Torah twice that the Kayin has the woman swear about this? So he answered, Achas, Kaidim Shanim Megillah. Once the Kayin has a swear before the Megillah is erased, and V'achas Lacha Shanim Chaka. And the second time he has a swear after the Megillah is erased. But Rav asks on this pshat, it doesn't fit into the simple pshat of the pasuk. Tarvayu Kaidim Shanim Chaka Megillah Ksivan. In the pasuk it says twice Vishbiya Kayin before the Kayin erases the Megillah. The pasuk only speaks about the erasing of the Megillah later on in pasuk Chav Gimel, or maybe even in pasuk Chav Daled, where it says that he actually erases the Megillah. So both of them have to be before the Megillah is erased. Elo, so rather, he says, Hey Chidami, what does this mean over here? Again, I skipped that. I gotta keep my finger on the page here. So Elo Maravis, or rather, Rava says, Achas Shvua Sheyesh Ima Allah. One time, the Kayin has a swear, and he has a swear about the curse itself. There's a shvuah that comes along with the curse, and that's what she's swearing about, accepting upon herself this curse that could happen to her. And then there's another time that he has a swear without the curse that comes along with it. So it's two different things that the Kayin has a swear, and she answers amen to them. Okay, so now, when it says over here that he has a swear without the curse, that we understand what it is. I mean, he has a swear that you did not have a relationship with this man, and if you did, or if you did not become tummy to this man. That's the first shvuah. That we understand. But now the question is, what is the meaning of the shvuah that comes along with the curse? So the Gemara explains. So, one second. Okay, so hey chidami shvuah sheyesh ima Allah. Now, what is exactly this shvuah that comes along with the curse? Amar Rav Amram, Amar Rav. So Rav Amram explained in the name of Rav. Mashbieni Olecha. The Kayin says, that you are accepting upon yourself this shvuah. Shaloi nitmes, that you did not become tummy, you did not have a relation with this man. Okay, so that's basically the shvuah that she's swearing herself about her actions, that she did not do anything wrong. And then he says, she'im nitmeis. Now, if you did become tameh, yavoyu bech, then the water will come inside of you and it'll have the effect that the pasuk says, what will it cause to her? The curse. So the she'im nitmeis is the aspect of the curse that happens to her. So that's the shvuah that relates to the curse. Amar Rave, so now Rave asks on this language that Rav Amram said in the name of Rav, how this shvuah is said, but it doesn't come together. Allah l'chuda kaima. You have over here the curse that the Kayin tells us separately, that she accepts upon herself this punishment, this curse that may happen to her. U'shvuah l'chuda kaima. And the oath that she swears that she did not have a relation with this man is separate. Meaning, the question he's asking is, in the pasuk it's mashma that he's having her swear about the curse itself. She's accepting the curse that may happen to her, and she's accepting it so strongly, she's accepting it with a shvuah. But the way Rav over here, Rav Amram, the name of Rav, describes what she's accepting with this shvuah, so first is she's making a shvuah that she did not have a relation with this man. Okay. Then she'im, a separate point, that now if you did have a relation with this man, there'll be a curse. But not necessarily is she accepting this curse with a shvuah. It's just that he's telling her that if you did have a relation with this man, then this curse will come upon you. But in the pasuk it's mashma shvuas ha'Allah. Shvuas ha'Allah means that the curse itself is being accepted with a shvuah. But how do you see in this language that the curse is being accepted with a shvuah? So so therefore Rava says that what the Kain has to swear is with the following language. Mashbiyeni alecha, that I'm having you swear, she'im nitmeis yavoyu bech. That the shvuah is about this. The shvuah is that if you had a tumah, if you had a relation with this man, that the curse will take effect in you. Right? So over here, that's what the shvuah is about. The shvuah is her accepting this punishment, this curse. So it's actually shvuas ha'Allah. The Allah itself is being accepted. The curse is being accepted by a shvuah. Amar Ravashi, but Ravashi asks on this. But now, if that's the case, so the shvuah is taka going on the curse. She's accepting the curse with the shvuah. But Allah ike, shvuah leke. So she's accepting the curse with the shvuah, but there is no shvuah on herself. The point that we said over here is that there's two shvuahs. There has to be a shvuah that she's accepting upon herself regarding her behavior. She's saying, I swear that I did not have a relation with this man. And there's another thing, there has to be a shvuah regarding her accepting the curse. But Rav is saying that the shvuah is going just on the curse that she's accepting. But there is no shvuah regarding her own behavior herself, that she did not have a relation with this man. So Amar Ravashi, so therefore Ravashi said, or Elo Amar Ravashi rather, Ravashi answers and says, very, very similar to what was quoted before in the name of Rav, but just a difference of one letter that makes the difference here. Mashbiyeni alecha, you swear, I'm having you swear about this here, and the first thing is shaloi nitmes, that you did not become tameh. So that's the first shvuah about herself, about her own behavior. Ve'im nitmes yavoyu bech, and if you became tameh, then the water will come on you, and the curse will take effect. So over here he says ve'im, not she'im. She'im is sort of just saying the outcome that will happen. Not necessarily is the shvuah going on that, but the Kain is just adding if. This is the outcome of what will happen if you became tameh. But when you add ve'im, ve is saying, and the shvuah goes on this as well. That you're accepting also with a shvuah that this curse could take effect in you. So therefore we have the shvuah on herself, and we have the acceptance of the curse through a shvuah. The two times it says in the pasuk. So now in the pasuk, when it talks about the acceptance of the woman of the shvuah, it says a double lashon. That va'amra ha'isha amen amen. The woman says twice amen. So this Mishnah will explain what's the double lashon of amen. Al maya meres amen amen. When the woman accepts upon himself twice amen amen, why is she saying this double lashon? Amen al ha'Allah. So first is the point that we just said that she's saying amen, she's accepting the curse, and amen al shvuah, and amen on the shvuah itself regarding her behavior. But there's also additional things that we learn out from this double amen here. Amen me'ishzeh. She's saying amen regarding this, that she's accepting the shvuah, that she did not have a relation with this man, that she was suspected, or she went and she hid with him. But amen me'ishacheh. She's also saying amen, that she did not have a relation with someone else as well. Furthermore, amen shalisatisi arusa. Amen, that I did not have a relation with someone else even after Edison, before the full marriage. and or nesua after the full marriage, anytime after the full marriage, or shemeres yavam, if her husband was her yavam, her husband passed away without children, and now she had to get married here with his brother Yibum, and she says amen to the fact that she did not have a relation with someone else during that time when she was anticipating, waiting to get married to him. That time period is called shemeres yavam, waiting to get married to the yavam. Uknusa, or after she was already fully married to her. Now she clarifies over here that this idea that she's answering amen for all these different possibilities that she may have had a relation with a man in all these different time periods is what's called in the Gemara Gilgul Shvua, meaning that really originally the Shvua that the Kohen has to swear is about what we suspect her here and now, that we saw that she went and was secluded with this man. But because the Torah says amen, amen, we learn from this that the Kohen could roll upon her additional shvuas and have her swear about any other scenario that she may have had a relation with someone else. And from here, this is the source. You'll learn out the concept of Gilgul Shvua that's found in other places in the Torah as well. Now here the Mishnah continues, and Rashi explains, this is spelling out the first point that the Mishnah said regarding the amen, that it says that she accepts the shvua and she accepts the curse. So what that means is, amen shaloinit meisi, accepting the shvua upon her own behavior. So the amen is that I did not become tamei. And v'imnit meisi, now accepting the curse is as follows: v'imnit meisi, I accept also that if I did become tamei yavayubi, that these waters will come in me and the curse will have its effect on me. Rav Meir says that we learn from the double of amen even more. Amen shaloinit meisi, amen that I did not become tamei in the past, and amen shaloi atame. And amen is also for the future, that I will not become tamei in the future. The Gemara will explain what this means regarding the future. Hakoil shavet. Now the Gemara explains everybody agrees she'ein masne ima, that he could not have a condition, or in other words, he can't include in this shvua as well loy al kaidim shetisaris, not regarding this that she did not have a relation with another man before the first stage of marriage, the edison of the marriage, regarding her having a relation with a man at that point. That's not something that could be included in this, because if she had a relation with anybody at that point, she doesn't become usher to her husband at all. She was not even Eshes Ish yet. And also, and or according to Rab Meir that says you could include a shvu also for the future, but not to say that you won't have a relation with someone after he divorces her, because again, that's something that doesn't cause any issa between the husband and the wife. Nistara le'echad v'nitmis v'achakach hechzira. So if after she was divorced, she was secluded with someone and she became tamei with him, and then he goes and he remarries her, but because she had a relation with this man while she was divorced of him, so that can't be included over here in this condition or in this shvua of the Sotah. Because if she had a relation with someone while he's divorced of her, it doesn't affect his relationship with her. And Ash here points out, even though there's a halacha, once you divorce a wife, you can't remarry her if she goes and gets married to someone else, right? And that person divorces her. Now you want to remarry her, you can't. But if she had a relation with someone else without getting married to someone else, he will be allowed to marry her. So therefore, whether she had a relationship with someone else after the divorce, it doesn't affect his relationship with her. So that cannot be included in the shvua here. The Mishnah concludes the rule: Zeh haklal, kol shetiboel v'loy tei asur alai. If it's a situation where she has a relation with someone else and this would not cause any isser to her husband, lehoya masni ima. So this cannot be used as a condition. This cannot be brought into the shvua that's made with her and when she's a Sotah. So the Gemara, Rav Amnuna said, based on what we learned in our Mishnah, Shemeres Yavam Shezinsa, this woman that's anticipating to get the Yivum, and in that time period, she had a relation with another man, Asura Liyavama, she will not be allowed to get married to her Yavam. She'll have to have Chalitza. From where do I see this? Mimai. From Midiktani, because it said in our Mishnah, Shemeres Yavam Uknusa, that by a Sotah, so he could include in the Shvua also this, that she did not have a relation with someone else during the time period when she was a Shemeres Yavam, when she was anticipating to get married to him. So now, if you'll say that if she did have a relation with someone at that time, she becomes asa to the Yavam, so therefore you could include that in the Shvua, and when she's a Sotah. But if you're going to say that her having a relation with someone else in that time period, she does not become asa to her Yavam, how could that be included in the Shvua? for the Sotah. But the Mishnah here just said at the end, Zeh aklal, the rule here is, Kol she'ilu tibal v'loy tehei asur aloi, if she has a relation with someone else in a time period that it does not cause any issa to the husband, so lo haya masni ima. So then that can't be included in the Shavua of a Sotah. So if the Mishnah does include this time period of Shemeres Yavam in the Shavua of the Sotah, it must be that if she has a relation with someone else in that time period, she would become asa to him. Amri b'marave, but in Marave, which refers to Eretz Yisrael, over there they answered and said that no, less hilchase kerav Hamnuna. That Rav Hamnuna's diak in the Mishnah is good, but nevertheless we don't paskin like what Rav Hamnuna said. So Elo, the Gemara explains, Elohadik Tani Shemeres Yavam Uknusa. This that it says in our Mishnah that we include the time period of Shemeres Yavam as well. If she had a relationship with someone else, then she becomes asa to her husband. So why don't we paskin like this? Says the Gemara. In Marava they said, Hamani Rabbi Kiva. Our Mishnah here is following the opinion of Rabbi Kiva. The Alma Rabbi Kiva had a unique opinion. Ein Kiddushin Toivsin B'chai Ve'lavin. Kiddushin does not take effect with a woman that there's an isser for you to marry her just with the isser of a lav. Now, there could be an isser of an erva that you're not allowed to marry this woman where the erva is a koris. We learned about this by Riches in the Gemara in Yevamis. According to most opinions, only if it's an isser of an erva which is a koris, then the Kiddushin does not take effect at all. But if it's an isser which is only a lav, no punishment of koris, so he may not marry her, but the Kiddushin takes effect. That's what Rabbi Kiva though argues. Rabbi Kiva says Kiddushin does not take effect for Chai V'Lavin or Mashvila Ke'erva. He considers any situation of a lav to be just like an erva of Kodesh. And therefore over here regarding this Shemeres Yavam, the Shemeres Yavam, she's not allowed to have a relation with anyone else during this time period when she's anticipating to get married to her Yavam, and it's a lav. There's no Kodesh here, but it's a lav, and the lav is Lesia Eishus Ameisa Chutzal Ish Zar, that she may not marry anybody else. She may not have a relation with someone else. So according to Rav Akiva, if a person has a relation with a woman, which is only a Isalav, the children will be Mamzedim, not only a Chi of Kodesh. So just like Rabbi Akiva says that regarding the children being Mamzedim, so too over here regarding the Isser of her going back to her husband, Rabbi Akiva holds just like a woman that is a Chi of Kodesh. So if she had a relation, if she in the Chi of Kodesh, so she can't go back to her husband, over here as well, even though she's not yet an Eishes Ish, and there's no Chi of Kodesh, but that she had a relation with someone else, it's just a Chi of Lav, she's also to go back to her husband. So our Mishnah that includes the Shemeres Yavam in this Shvua is like Rabbi Kiva's opinion, but we don't paskin like Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Yirmiyah asks a shaila, based on what we learned in our Mishnah, Mao sheyasna Adam al nisuim harishainim. Can a person include in the shvua that he has the say to swear about a previous marriage? He was married with her, then he divorced her, and he got remarried with her. And he wants her to swear for him that she didn't have a relation with another man during the first marriage. Or al nisue achiv mahu. Or if this is a yavam, so this woman was first married to her brother, and he wants her to swear also that she didn't have a relation with another man during the time period when she was married to her brother. Mahu. Could that be included in the shvua? Says the Gemara, Tashama. Based on the rule that our Mishnah says, what does the Mishnah say? If it's a time period that she had a relation with someone else, and she does not become asa to him, that can't be included in the shvua. But asira, if she does become asa to him, that could be included in the shvua. So over here as well, if this woman that was married to him in a previous marriage, and she had a relation with someone else then while she was an Eishes Ish, she becomes asa to him forever, even if it's a later marriage, even if she was divorced in between. And the same thing also if she had a relation with someone else while she was married to the brother. If you remember, we learned before that this woman, if she had a relation with someone else while she was married to the brother, then what happens? You only do chalitza, not yivum. She can't marry him. So therefore, because this would asa her to him, so therefore that could be included in the Shvuah. Shmam, that proves that it could be included. Even though the Mishnah didn't mention this beferish, but it could be included. Now Rab Meir said, Rab Meir Oimer, Amein Shaloi Nitmeisi V'chulu, that included in the Shvuah is also regarding the future. That she's accepting upon himself that she did not become Tameh and she won't become Tameh in the future. So how does this work? So Tanya, we learn in the Braise, Loi Kisha Amar Rab Meir, Amen Shaloi Tameh, that as she's answering Amen that she did not, because she will not become Tameh. Again, she will not become Tameh in the future. It doesn't mean she'im tetameh Mayim Boitkin Oisa Me'achshav, that if she becomes Tameh, then the water will affect her now. That the water now, the Eibishter knows the future. You may think that there's a miracle that takes place, that right now, based on what will happen in the future, will take effect. No, it doesn't take effect now. She has Bechira for the future. It does not take effect now. Ella rather, what Rav Meir means to say is, Likisha Tatame. She's accepting this curse right now, and then, if she has a relation with someone else in the future, then what happens is, then the waters that's still in her system remains there, and it comes back up, and it will then cause its effect upon her, and the curse will take effect then. Boy, Rav Ashi asks, according to Rav Meir, if you can include in the shvuah for the future, can a person include in the shvuah and say that I want you to swear for me regarding the curse that could take effect in a future marriage? If I divorce you and I get remarried for you, can he include a future marriage as well? Do I say hashte mia loy asirele, that right now she's not asa to him for that? In other words, the future marriage, if he divorces her, the other marriage doesn't exist now, he's not asa to her for that right now. Or do I say zimin de megarishla, v'hada mahadala, that since he could divorce her and remarry her, and then if he remarries her at that time period, he will be asa with her. So therefore, maybe you could include that in the condition in the shvuah. Tashema, so the Gemara brings a proof of this. The Mishnah said, Hakail Shavin, everybody agrees, Shlehoya Masni Ima, that he does not include in the Shvuah, Loi Al Kaidim Shetisaris, not before he marries her, Veloy Alacha Shetisgarish, and not for after he divorces her. And the Mishnah says, Nitme Nistera Le'echad V'nitmis, if after he divorced her, she was secluded with someone and she had a relation with him, V'acha Kach Yachzirena, and then he remarries her, Loya Masna. So for that, he can't make any conditions, he can't include that in the shvuah, because the time period that she had a relation with that man was during the divorce. So therefore, it doesn't affect the Isser on this husband. So the Gemara says, what do we understand from this? But if he remarries her, and after he remarries her, a second marriage, then she would become tamei to someone. That, according to Rav Meir, that says that you include even the future in the shvuah, that it could be included in the shvuah. Right? The Mishnah spells out only if during the divorce period you cannot include it, but if she gets remarried, that could be included. Shema Mina, this proves that according to Rav Meir, that says you include the future, that if it's in a second marriage, it could be included in the shvuah. Okay, the next piece we'll learn tomorrow.